Welcome to the Tai Chi Ruler. We call it rocking in class. Rocking is like being in a rocking chair. Relaxing, enjoying, no stress or tension, just a letting go and allowing your true nature to come up. You can use a paper towel too. Anything usually about 9 to 12 inches long will do. Enjoy the class. Hi, and welcome to the Tai Chi Ruler. And like we said, we call it rocking in the class. It's just a very comfortable movement back and forth. Your first thing I guess you would think about is space and proper shoes or socks or bare feet or whatever is the safest thing for you, especially if you have a rug that's moves around and all. So you just got to make sure you have enough space to move back and forth. A lot of times we get stuck in the movement in one position, but really if you have space, you can move around the room, kind of dance-like motions. So that's it. It's very simple movement, and I think if you get into it a little bit, you'll realize it's a very deep, relaxing, meditative practice. And I hope you enjoyed the class. Thanks. Basically, the first thing would be if you watch the stepping video that we have online, it's this step. It's this step. The heel goes out without moving. You're not moving your body. There's no momentum in the step. It's a very small step, so you can see from the side I have a very big stride, but my step is very, very small. In fact, you could maybe even say your heel's only going up to where your toe is, would be safe. You're going to find out what's the best, the best movement for you. This is the rocking. Both feet could start out being flat, and you're just making sure you shift your weight forward and shift your weight back. Both knees stay soft. So my weight is on my front leg, but this knee is still soft. My weight goes back, but this knee is still soft. So just make sure that you're okay. Your torso is kind of just staying straight. If you know the pelvic tilt in yoga, where your tailbone's going down, pubic bone is coming up. That's about where you are in this neutral position. So if you just pitch your hip all the way up and put your hip all the way down, in the middle is about what you're holding. You're trying to hold that for as long as possible, which means, these muscles here could be a little bit engaged. They're not tight, but just engaged a little to hold that, hold your whole pelvic up in line. And the rocking would be no bouncing, so you're not kind of moving like this. You're not stretching anywhere. You're not, it should be so casual. It should feel like you're not doing anything. You switch feet whenever you want. So you could easily adjust your foot like this, or you could take a step forward and move right into the rocking, or take a step back. It's whatever's comfortable. Right, for now, your hands are going to just stay on the side and do some of the rocking. So then you could, if you feel comfortable, you can pick up your front toe when your weight goes onto the back leg. When your weight goes forward, you could pick up your back heel. Right, so it's just kind of rocking. And again, you're just getting softer and softer and softer, smoother and smoother and smoother. So there's no jerking back or jerking forward. Everything is smooth. You have to be comfortable. If your knees are hurting, you're going to have to stop. If you're a little bit uncomfortable with one leg in the front, switch feet whenever you want. You don't have to wait for me. I'm not going to tell you when to switch feet. You just decide. Switch feet. And like we said, the switching of the feet could be a step forward or an adjustment of the legs. It's doesn't matter. It's whatever's safe. That would be the first thing. So it's pretty easy. Everybody can do it. if you feel comfortable and you want to pick up your foot a little bit, so you would look like this. Right? So you could see maybe from the side. Come up 1 inch, doesn't really matter. And if it's not comfortable, you're not doing it. This is all about you trying to have some awareness of your own abilities and your own comfort level. It really helps for balance to be aware of it. You know, what you should be doing or could be doing. So just keep in mind, it's a very mindful movement. It's not just, oh, I'm exercising. It's mindful, meaning you're trying to be aware of your whole body when you're doing it. So then, what do your hands feel like? So we just bounce it back and forth. Blood started flowing a little bit all around. What do your hands feel like? What do the extremities? What do your feet feel like? Maybe close your eyes for a second. Or just stop. Close your eyes for a second. What do your feet feel like? Put your mind down in your feet. Put your mind in your hands. Put your mind on top of your head. What does that feel like? Take 30 seconds and do that. The next thing we were talking about was, the actual tools to be used, right? So we have the classic Tai Chi Ruler. This one's a piece of wood carved out. It's very nice. Has a rounded ends. Makes it easier to flash this way and that way, right? Well, we have the paper towel tube, which is almost exactly the same size as this ruler. And so, because the tube is the handiest thing to have, and everybody uses paper towels usually. So this is the perfect size for this one. The ruler itself, the wooden piece, is very light. If you want to weigh down the tube a little bit, a couple of my students, they put paper, just stuffed paper in there, and they wrapped it with a, wrapping paper, and it's kind of a nice little tool, and it's just within the rocking. Also, one of my students gave me this one. It's a little thinner. It's from an aluminum foil, I guess. And so it doesn't really matter. The point is, it doesn't really matter what you use. And you're just in the rocking. So you're doing the same thing with this tube as you did without the tube, which means, everything is very, very comfortable. When your body's moving forward, your arms are going forward. It's the forward way. In all my classes over all these years, I've never met anyone who couldn't do it. When your weight goes forward, your arms are forward. Don't forget, I'll show you a little bit at the end. All this could be done sitting. If you can't stand it all and it bounces, whatever you're worried about it, all this movement could be done sitting. Very good for your upper part of your body. Breathing, concentration, awareness. It covers all the grounds. So this is the in and out movement. Usually we use the 3 energy centers. So you have the lower, the middle, and the upper. And so we'd always, in class, we'd always start at the middle, at the lower. Alright, so this is kind of like around where your belly button is. And then it can move over up to where your heart is. Alright, so this could be like this, if you know about the chakras. This is your 2nd chakra. This is your 4th chakra. It's the heart center. And then this is your 3rd eye. This would be the 6th chakra. So as soon as you start going up, if your shoulders are hurting, you're not this high, and you got to lower yourself down. You have to be in comfort. You got to remember, this is trying to relax. This isn't an exercise endurance. This is trying to relax first. So you can also go higher, right? It's what can you do? That's what you're going to see. as we go along. This is all about what can you do? This is the forward way, overhand circle. Forward way is, remember, my body's forward, my arms are forward. My arms come back, my body's back. And then it's the overhand circle. This could be energy going up your back, coming down the front. Going up your back, coming down the front. If you visualize some of the stuff, you'll feel it more. And then of course we go in reverse. And this would be an underhand circle. This could be energy coming in the top of your head, going out into the ground, coming over into the top of your head, going right through your body, cleaning it out, kind of getting rid of all the toxic painfulness, stagnant energy, just to keep things moving. Okay. So you just make sure you're switching hands. Look what's happening to my wrist and my elbow here on this one. This one's kind of straight and my wrist is locking the other way. But you know, see what happens. It's just moving your joints in a different way. And then if you feel comfortable, you know, you're doing some other kind of movements. So I'm going to my right, turning to my right, going to my left, turning to my left. It's not an unusual twisting or anything. It's just rocking forward a little bit, rocking back. Right? So when my left leg is out, I'm turning to my left. There's no strain. I'm not trying to twist in a different way. There's nothing. My arms are getting softer and softer, lighter and lighter as you do the movement. The next, so those are just a couple of movements that you could try, and when you're tired, you're going to stop. The next thing, though, that you would have to consciously be working on a little bit is this reverse way. So the reverse way is my body is back and my arms are forward. So see the difference? Right? If you can't see the difference, it's going to be hard for you to do it. But the difference is my body moves back, all my weight is on this leg, and my palms are all the way out. And I pull myself forward, push myself off. So if you judge my arms by this kind of painting in the frame, you can see my palms are not really moving that much. My arms are doing all the movement, right? My elbows moving, opening, my elbows are closing. So my palms are kind of staying where they are. And I'm moving my body away from it and pulling my body into it. Right? And you can switch feet whenever you want. All the patterns have a reverse way, so this would be the reverse way while you're doing the underhand circle. Right? If you remember, the underhand circle looked like this in the forward way. And maybe from the side view you can see the difference between the forward way and then the reverse way. And you practice the reverse way as much as you can so that it becomes natural as the forward way. And then whenever you take a step, you will change without changing your palms or stopping your palms. You will move into the opposite way. So this is the forward way. If I take a step back and just keep my palms moving, I'm automatically going to go into the reverse way. It takes a little practice to do it because your palms are not really changing any speeds, and you're not adjusting at all. You just keep your palms moving and take the step. And you're going to keep going from one to the other without any kind of adjustment. It just falls into place. Falling, maybe the wrong word down. Right, so that's the reverse way, and all the patterns are done in the reverse way too, as in the forward way. The next thing we wanted to talk about was without the tube, without the ruler. So once you get used to the ruler, it's good for stability, right? If you have something that you can grab, it's good for your stability. And then you're going to try to have that feeling of stability and create the stability by just creating your hands, having a certain distance that's comfortable for you. So it's going to be about the same distance, 12 inches, 9 inches, something. And you just go right through the whole thing. So what does that feel like in your hands? Feel any blood flow, any tingling? It's your blood flow in there. I could say chi, I could say energy, we could say prana, right? But, what sensations of blood do you have in your hand? I worked in Coney Island Hospital. I wasn't allowed to say energy or chi or prana, I wasn't even allowed to say pulse. I had to say blood flow. So I got used to that, and who cares? It doesn't really matter right now what it is. You just want to start getting some sensations. So if you get the sensation and you feel like, oh, this is my blood flow, and my blood is tingling, blood's coming to the surface, fluids are coming to the surface, other fluids are going into your hands, and you're feeling like your palms are full, that's what we want. And so when you have this gap, and we call it a chi ball in there because you're kind of imagining that you are holding, say, a balloon of air or chi or energy or prana or whatever you want to say. It's up to you because it's all in your body. But there is a field, there's a bioelectrical magnetic field that's going across in here, and you're probably feeling different polarities going back and forth, which just makes this kind of like a magnetic push and a pull. In this Tai Chi Ruler, we're not too concerned about exactly what is happening, but we do want to have some sensations and feelings. And so say I had a tube here, a balloon. And I'm slowly twisting this balloon. What would that feel like in my palms? Or I go in and out, pressing on the balloon. You know what happens, it pushes you back. What do you feel? Take your time with these and practice them, outside of the video so that you can just think about it. What is this? What are you feeling? You have to concentrate on it for seconds. Once you do it for a while and get the general feeling, as soon as you put your palm out, you're going to feel something in there. You don't have to imagine, oh, there's a balloon, or basketball, or a bowling ball. You don't have to imagine it. As soon as you go like this, your blood's going to gush to the surface and you're going to feel something. And where your mind goes, that's where chi goes, that's where energy goes, that's where blood flow goes. So part of this whole thing is, if I have stress on my knee or my ankle or my toes or my fingers, I concentrate on them. Not to tell myself I'm in pain, but to tell me, like, what do I feel? Besides the pain, there's always some other sensations that are going on. And those are the things that you're concentrating on so that you can get more blood flow there. Whether it's arthritic or painful, you just could try something with your own mind. It could be rocking back and forth this way. Right, so if maybe making moves like this. I'm just going to give you some in general movements that you should make, and the whole idea is shifting that weight, right? So you're shifting the weight left and right, both knees are soft. I would say the sitting would be at the edge of the chair, so you get yourself room in the back of the chair so that you could do these things. And just to loosen up your spine a bit. You want to be able to have a chair that your kind of tailbone falls in the chair. Like this chair is decent because it's like a board. There's a board over here, right? So this is kind of falling into the comforter. So it's so my back is arching. Back is rounding, right? And you could probably already imagine the movement, right? So it's like, and your arms only get so soft. So if you have the tube, just for stability purposes, right? You see how much my back is trying to twist there, right? So I always try to make things a little bit even. Like if I go to the left a bunch of times, I try to go to the right a few times, right? It doesn't matter which one I'm doing. Right? If I'm doing this, well, this would be alternating left and right, so it's easy, right? To keep track. But again, it's like you're looking at this. Once you do the movement, once you decide, oh, I'm going to do this movement, then you got to look at your tube and make sure it's vertical, right? And it should be definitely horizontally. Your arms should not be wallowing all over the place. You know, you're trying to literally control this, no matter. You don't want to be out of control. This is all about control. And notice the back, it's really arching and rounding. Like I said, if you looked in YouTube, you find a lot more, there's certain forms that people do with the ruler, and it's really great. And I think this is just a great way to get started and little things, and you could always email me if you have any questions about it. Yeah, okay, I put my thing like this, and somebody had asked me already about, okay, you do this with your leg. Yeah, I was like, okay, make something up for yourself, right? It's everything's up to you. You just try to be a beginner and see where are your limits, and don't go over your limit. stay within your limits for a short amount of time. You'll see if this is your limit, this is what you see on a screen of somebody doing, but this is what you can do. If you do this many times, you will start going like this. You won't even know. It's going to be such a slow progression. You probably wouldn't know. And then all of a sudden, you're going to get to a point where you say, oh, wait a minute, I'm way more than when I started. And that's what happens. You just keep, it just keeps growing and growing. Everything progresses. You're unifying the body. Maybe have a tight elbow, so you can't, somebody's doing this on the screen, right? So your shoulders moving, elbows moving, wrists moving. Maybe you have a tight elbow, so your arm is moving like this. Can't do that extra joint. And then after you do that 100 times, it's like all of a sudden, oh, your elbow's starting to float. Oh, now you have way more wrist movement than you did at the beginning. You were moving like this, that's it. And now you're moving more and more and more and more and more. It's slow. And you have to be satisfied with the slightest bit of improvement. Every time you do it, you'll have a slight bit of improvement. Your main thing, of course, is safety, and you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to hurt yourself. So many people come in my class because they got hurt in yoga or something. How can you get hurt in yoga? Yoga is the same philosophy. You should be going too far out of your range of movement. But the teacher's, putting her head on the floor, and your yoga is this, and you got to be satisfied with it. And that's the same with this. If you want to be smoother and smoother and smoother and smoother and softer, and you're moving like a snake, and you're playing around, even in your own mind. If you could only move very stiffly, you still want to feel like, oh, you're floating. Oh, your movement's like this. The person is doing this, but you're doing this, but you want to feel like you're floating and floating and floating. And I guarantee that that's going to expand and expand and expand if you stay within your limits. Okay, I'm sorry, that's a little too much, maybe too much talking. Enjoy my other videos. It's at GQGLINKS.com, and it'll be on the screen at some point. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Tai Chi Ruler.